What it do, Gemini? What is up with my Gemini family? Let's take a quick little look here and see how things are looking for you guys in the last half of February. Last 2 weeks of February. Let's see how things are looking. Just going to see if there's a couple more scenarios that I can read that I haven't touched on. And, you know, details, timeline changes, all that good shit. Anyway, if any of you are in need of a personal reading, all the information is in the description of this video. All right. I want to start this off with the new person. We haven't done that yet this month. I haven't focused specifically on the new person. So if you're not here dealing with or inquiring about a new person you just recently connected with, this is not for you. How's the energy looking between Gemini and the new person? Why that always got to come straight out the gate, man? Well, Tower reversed. Well, man, what is going on here? Because so first, let's just start here, okay? With the Nine of Wands. Somebody here is incredibly guarded, like guarded. And that is preventing a really deep connection from actually being able to formulate. You all are not connecting at a very deep level. And I mean, it's a new person. You're not supposed to know each other like the back of your damn hand, but you know, there's a process. We start off on the surface, then we go a little bit deeper, then a little deeper, and a little deeper. And it works in stages, you know? And those stages should flow smoothly. You know? But when you all very first connect, if there's just a hard shell of protection around the surface layer, and you're not even able to penetrate that, then that can cause quite a bit of tension to arise very early on. Very early on. But see, this is the weird part here. Now, okay, so here's a little behind the scenes sneak peek of what it's like to be a tarot reader. For those of you who bought my courses, part 1 and 2, if you go to the second part, the intuitive guide, that teaches you the intuitive aspect of it. That is very difficult to teach. Sometimes a card comes out reversed because that's the only way spirit could bring it out right there in that second. And it's supposed to be upright, and then vice versa. Sometimes a card comes out upright, but it's actually meant to be reversed. But there in that moment, it wasn't available in the reverse. And you have to be able to intuitively pick up, like, is that supposed to be reversed? That's tricky. That can be very tricky. So that may be what's going on here, because this doesn't make no goddamn sense. I mean, the only thing that I could say is that maybe, well, you are a Gemini, so maybe one half of you is just completely given up on this and the other half is not. Could that be what's going on here? Is a part of you just giving up on this, but the other part of you is keeping it going just in case? I don't know, man. I don't know, but it does not look like a very solid, stable connection. It doesn't. It looks like this is one. Okay, so I'm trying to think of a good analogy. Sometimes you see this like on social media where you'll see a couple that looks all happy with the fake smiles and the pictures and the sweet little posts and this and that and blah. And then all of a sudden, one day out of the blue, one of them's posting angry, mean shit. You know, you can tell they just got broke up with. And it's like, whoa, I thought y'all was happy. The fuck? What the hell broke y'all up? Because they weren't happy. That was a surface level, superficial bullshit relationship that was mainly just meant to look pretty. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Is that what's going on here? I don't know. Let's dig deeper now. This is just the general overview, mainly from your perspective. Let's see this person's true feelings, energies, and intentions. New person Gemini's dealing with. What are their true feelings, energies, and intentions? Every time I read a new connection or a potential new connection, the past comes out. Every time. Every time. Okay. So, were they fresh out of a relationship when y'all met? That's what this feels like. This feels like somebody that got their heart broke like the day before y'all met. Not exactly, but you know what I mean. Like they just got their fucking heart ripped out. And the blood hasn't even started to clot yet before y'all met. Right? Fresh wound. I think they want a long-term, healthy, successful relationship. But when you are that fucking damaged, you ain't gonna be able to form a genuine connection with anybody, really. Not a genuine connection. Not for real, for real. I think they mean well. I think they do. You know me, if you're new to my channel, I got a public service announcement. I'm not the fucking one. There's lots of readers on YouTube who will blow all kinds of colorful smoke up your ass. That ain't me. I'm not the one. I'm not going to bullshit you. I'm not going to sprinkle sugar on it. I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. I read what comes through. Nothing more, nothing less. So I'm going to tell you if I see some bullshit. Oh, I'm going to tell you. I don't see it here. I mean, I do. I mean, that is some stupid bullshit. But I don't think this person's head popped off their pillow in the morning wondering how they can manipulate somebody just to get what they want. I don't see a whole lot of that going on here. I see a very lost, broken, confused individual who is covering themselves with a cloak of false confidence, just trying to get on with their life, having no fucking clue what the hell they're doing. So this is the reason why I give intentions. Because my intention behind reading intentions is to give you enough information to make your own informed decision, right? Because we all draw the line somewhere, hopefully. Like there's some things that if I know your intentions, I'll let it slide. I know what you meant. I know where you're coming from. I get it. I'll let that slide. There's other things that, sorry, fuck your intentions. You crossed the line. I don't care how you meant it. I don't care what you thought. Nope. You deal breaker. You crossed the fucking line. Kiss my ass. Where do you draw that line? That's different for everybody. So when I give you intentions, that's so you can make the decision as to when and where you want to draw that line. Good intentions don't always mean good actions, and bad intentions don't always mean bad actions, right? So let's just get the advice. Got that karmic wheel reverse right there. Ooh, this is saying keep your options open. Let me see. Hold up. Let me see if I can bend it a little bit. I'm going to try. God damn it, Tower card again, third time in a row. Oh, what can I do with this? Well, okay, so we are kind of putting a little bit of a time constraint on this because this is the new person. When I say new person, personally, the intentions I'm putting into it is somewhere in the ballpark of maybe 3 months, 4 months max. I guess it doesn't have to be. I mean, I've read for people who say they're with somebody for a year and they call that a new person. I can't say you're wrong if that's the way you see it. But if you've been with this person for 3 months and you're already having some serious fucking concerns, it's time to lay them concerns on the table. Let them concerns be known. I mean, you're going to have to do that at some point in time anyway. Even when you meet your divine life partner, there's still going to be times where you have concerns that you have to bring to the table. We're going to have to work through shit. That's just what it is. But if not a damn thing, if you all are still in the exact same energetic spot 6 months down the line that you were the very first day you met, that's a pretty bad sign that y'all are going to spin in fucking circles. I'm not saying that you should be engaged to be married and happily ever after 6 months. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you should see some progress. We should at least see that we're just a little bit different than we were 6 months ago. I'm a little bit of a different person. You're a little bit of a different person. We both shifted and changed, even ever so slightly. Even your friends and family might begin to notice it, because as we come together, we begin growing together, which is going to change both of us. Right? So if it's been about 3 months, you want to lay your concerns on the table. And if no progress is made between 3 and 6 months, none, then you might want to think about how you're going to end this, because if you don't, the universe is going to step in and end it for you. All right. Moving on. Let's take another look at the person from the past. Or maybe a different person from the past. It's not uncommon in my readings to hear people talk about more than one ex. So maybe if you got more than one ex you've been thinking about, maybe this could be the other one. I don't know. Let's see. See what comes through, dude. Anything else we can tell Gemini about the past person? They're putting on a show for you. Excuse me. Are you watching them? I wouldn't. They're putting on a show for you. For those of you who are actively keeping an eye on this person, just know that they fucking know it. They know it. Now, I've never really hit this from this angle before because it hasn't come through this strong in a long time. But I just really have this strong feeling this person knows that you got your eye on them. Especially if you be posting things directed towards them. You're making their fucking day. They love that. They love that, dude. Anyway, though, they're putting on a show for you. So, but here's the thing. Let's dig a layer deeper than that. Why would they be putting on a show for you? What would be the point of that? Unless you own some space in their head. Yep. You definitely own some space in their head. Faux shizzle. But it doesn't really look like too much is happening here. Not really. I mean, I do have a communication card here. But because I had to dig so deep for this, the deeper I have to dig, the weaker that energy is. You know, if you pay attention to what I'm doing here, I'll pull my spread and then I'll pull some cards out. Like every card that I pull off the stack after I lay my spread, that's me digging a little bit deeper. And every card I pull is a little bit deeper and a little bit deeper and a little bit deeper. And every layer that I dig, it gets a little bit weaker. So this, I had to dig really, really, really deep for this one here. So I don't know if that's happening in the last 2 weeks of February. I don't know. I think communication is eventually going to end up happening, but I don't know about right now. There's way too much tension between the two of you, and there's too much optics going on right now. You know, too much bullshit. At least on their end. I don't know about your end. You could be doing the same thing back to them. I don't know. But there's too much optics going on right now. And that's just causing too much tension. So let me see how they feel about you at the deepest level. Are you surprised to see this dude? If you dealt with someone who has an addiction, they are not clean. Let's see how they feel about you at the deepest level and what their true intentions is. Well, they do think about you all the damn time. Oh, but they don't want you to know they have any kind of feelings about anything. They want you to think that they have completely forgotten your existence. That's what they want you to think. But as always, that's a load of bullshit, especially if this ended recently. Man, when it gets to that point, now don't get it twisted, this is a very common message to come through. I'm sure, depending on how many of my videos you watch, you've probably heard me say something along the lines of this many times. And the struggle that I have when this message comes through is to try to bring it down to a point. And when we're stuck in that place, you know, where there's just silent tension and all this bullshit optics going on, playing silent games with each other, like that doesn't boil down to a point. It just doesn't. It's an unfillable void with no resolution that doesn't go anywhere. Right? Like best case scenario, that the optics just go on until the two of you just forget about it. Until somebody just wakes up and doesn't give a fuck anymore. Well, that could be best case or worst case scenario, depending on how you look at it. Right? Most extreme case scenario, one end of the spectrum, somebody gives in and folds and comes running and chasing. Other end of the spectrum, the bullshit optics goes on for, I don't know, 6 months, 9 months. And then one day somebody just wakes up, they don't give a fuck anymore, and they just kind of move on from it and bury it, stuff it away, forget about it. Now you got a karmic tie on your hands, you know. But that's kind of where we're at right now with this. They're just playing games. Just playing games silently, you know, hoping that it digs up under your skin. Let's get the advice. I got a million things that I want to say, but I'm going to hold off until I see what comes through. What advice do we have? Yeah, see, hang on. Don't even pay no fucking attention to them. There's a fine line. There's a fine, when you're in this situation, right? When there's the silent optics going on both sides, There's a very fine line between actually moving on and making it look like you've moved on. Very fine line, right? So which one do you want to be? Do you want to be the person that actually moves on and heals? Because I'm going to tell you what, you want to know what the best revenge is. The best revenge. What'll make any toxic person just burn to death. Healing. Healing and success. That is what's going to make any toxic person just burn alive. But it can't be fake. You can't fake it. That doesn't count. You can't fake it. Because that, you're building a house of cards with that. You can fake it, but eventually a gust of wind is going to come blow that house of cards down. You want to do the real, actual healing work. Now, here's the cool part. The more you actually begin to heal, the more likely, once you start making a little bit of progress up the mountain, the more likely they're going to show up in your inbox later on down the line, wanting to reconnect with you. And then at that point, it's a crapshoot as to whether or not you'll even be interested in revisiting that connection. Most of the time, about 7 times out of 10, the person who heals completely loses interest in revisiting what hurt them. Most of the time. But don't worry, don't cross that bridge until you get to it. But yeah, the optics needs to go. That's not going to go anywhere. That's just going to keep you stuck spinning in circles. I mean, I can't tell you to let something go. It doesn't work that way. I mean, I wish I could find the magical let go switch. You know, if I knew where that switch was, I'd be the first person to tell you, but I don't fucking know. Anyway, let's move on and take another general look at what's going on with the singles. Last 2 weeks of February. Wow, you got a couple of people. Some of you have a couple of options to choose from. I'm seeing, yeah. I hate to get so specific like that. I'm seeing you connecting with someone, okay? The Two of Cups, though, the funny thing about the Two of Cups is it doesn't intrinsically indicate an emotional connection. Two of Cups is just two people coming together. I mean, it could be two enemies coming together to kick each other's asses, potentially. But I'm honestly kind of feeling like there's a couple of different options that you're juggling. I'm thinking so. Yeah. Now, we're going into a Mercury fucking retrograde. God damn it. I feel like I just jumped down and turned around. And it was the last retrograde. But, so, during Mercury fucking retrograde, things move slow for everybody. Things are slow to get up off the ground. Things feel like they're not really moving forward. You know, it's kind of like you're riding a bike and then you hit a patch of mud, you know, and you're just not moving very fast. So things are going to move slow, not just for you, for everybody. I'm seeing you kind of connecting with somebody. Not really seeing a real strong emotional connection on their end. But some of you, if you keep it going long enough, it could turn into some unrequited love, honestly. You could allow yourself to fuck around and catch some feelings for somebody that ain't really trying to get emotionally involved. You're going to want to be careful with that. Because all I'm seeing here is that whoever this is that you're connecting with, it's red flag central. And you ain't seeing it for some reason. Some of y'all got a Leo headed your way. Also have Cancer here. My thing, though, with the Two of Pentacles, Three of Cups, like I said, I think there's more than one person here. I think you have a couple of different options to choose from. Devil card. It's probably going to be a slow couple weeks, dude. And I'm just prepared. I'm probably going to be telling you all that for about a month. Be prepared. Just to let you know, things are probably going to be moving slow for about a month or so. Every retrograde season, without fail, things move slow as shit. All right, let's just get some advice for the singles. What deck have I not used? Have I used them all? I don't think so. I don't know. Okay. So don't, well, and again, this is hard advice to give. Try not to attach yourself to anyone. Try not to. If you have attachment issues, maybe hold off and move slowly. You know, especially if you know you have attachment issues and you know it, you know. And then you find yourself in that place where there is a love offer or an option or an opportunity, and you know you have attachment issues and that internal mental battle you can find yourself in. Right now is not really that, well, actually never. You don't ever want to attach yourself to anyone. If attachment wants to happen naturally and organically, it'll happen naturally and organically, you know, and it'll be a very mutual give and take type of situation. But right now, like I said, so the last 2 weeks of February is the very end of the year of the snake, the very beginning of the year of the horse, right? We have one more season, Pisces season, to wrap up this cycle before Aries season kicks in and kicks off the rest of this new cycle that we're jumping into. So February and March, I don't know about anybody else, but I can't stand March. I hate that month. I don't know why. I just don't like it. It's just like, okay, all right, let's get on with it. Or just kind of, it's March. Whatever happens in March is in March. I don't know. I just don't like it. It's the last few weeks before Aries season kicks off the new cycle, you know? So don't try to force anything. Don't try to fight anything. Like if you're trying to make something happen and it don't want to happen, especially during a Mercury fucking retrograde, you know what would alleviate probably 75% of our problems is if we could simply learn when the universe is saying no. Do you know how many of our problems exist because we won't listen to the fucking universe when it's trying to tell us, stop. No, that's not your door. Leave that person alone, right? You know how many people right now are so wrapped up in chains in their own mind, unable to move forward because they can't fucking let go of something the universe is trying to take away from them. It's like your mom trying to take that toy away from you. And you're just holding on to it, and mommy's dragging you across the floor trying to get that toy out of your hands. All right? That's the way so many people are with the universe. You know, little do you know that your mommy's trying to give you a bigger, better fucking toy than you ever dreamed of. You know? You got to let go of the old toy first. So let things flow. Now, this is where I'm not ever advocating that anybody just be lazy and don't do nothing. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying roll over and just be a fucking leaf blowing in the wind. I'm saying do your best, do your damnedest. But when your best doesn't work, how do I determine when I need to work a little bit harder versus when I need to back up and quit? How do I make that determination? That can be tricky. one of the things that I've picked up on my journey is when shit starts making no fucking sense. Pay attention to that. A lot of times that can tend to have the adverse effect. When you're trying to make something happen and it's not working for no fucking reason, sometimes it's easy to get really pissed off and double down and dig your heels in and push even harder. Don't do that. When shit stops making sense, right? When there's no fucking logical reason in the world why this isn't working, that's the universe saying, no, stop. When you do your best and your best ain't working, and you hit it from this angle and that angle, and you hit it from the right and the left and the up, down, and all the way around and inside and out, and it still ain't working, relax. That's the universe saying, chill, bro, I got you. Relax, coast. It's not time yet. All right, y'all, I feel like those were the messages that my Gemini family needed to hear. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. Thanks again for tuning in and playing along. Don't forget, information for personal readings is all down here in the description. All right? I'm going to get out of here now, y'all. I will see you sometime between now and the rest of all